Hello and welcome to today's video on high altitude investing. In today's video, I'm going to be doing from start to finish technical analysis on Substratum. So let's get right into this. All right, so Substratum. I'm on the TradingView dollar chart. This is Binance dollar. Somebody in my last video asked me why I always do technical analysis on the USD charts when the Bitcoin pairs are what they need to trade between. So I wanted to explain that super quickly before we get into this. The reason that I do this is because Bitcoin distorts the value of certain coins. So it makes it harder to read the market cycles and Elliott waves. I like to use Ripple as an example of this because if we check out the Ripple Poloniex chart, okay, and we come back over here and we look at the way that this has moved over, since 2017, you just see this very drastic pump and then a full retracement back down to these low Satoshi levels, and then a drastic pump and then about a 50% retracement in this move. Okay, now let's check out Ripple versus the dollar and see how this looks. The same time period. Here's the exact same time period. Do you notice how its value has actually been consistently making new all-time highs against the dollar, but against Bitcoin, it looks like a very funky chart. Again, this is because Bitcoin is volatile, and so it distorts the value of the market cycles and the Elliott waves and can disrupt your technical analysis. So how do you get around this if you're trading the Bitcoin pairs? You use alerts on the dollar pairs. So you go to the XRP as an example, dollar pair, and then over here on the right hand side you click this plus button and you add your alert. Now I have alerts set up to text my cell phone, so if it crosses that level I'll get a text on my cell phone and then I can walk over to my computer and buy it on the Bitcoin pair, right? And that way I can have more accuracy in my technical analysis. I don't get disrupted by Bitcoin's volatility, and I still can trade in and out of these market cycles using the dollar chart. So that's how I get around that. That just explains what that is. Now back to the SUB or Substratum chart, and let's go over some technical aspects of this coin. Firstly, one technical aspect of this coin is that we are 107th in monthly volume. So that means over the past 30 days, this has had about 179 million US dollars. So that's pretty good for a 30-day, 1 month volume. That's, like I said, 107th in the monthly volume rankings. We have a circulating supply of 383 million substratum and a total supply of 472 million substratum. Current market capitalization is just under 250 million at 249. So this is a classic full market cycle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. So let's go over to the dollar chart and actually, display those exact waves. So on the left-hand side, clicking our Elliott wave tool, we can then go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very nice, impulsive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. Common, very standard, looks similar to a lot of the market cycles we are seeing today in the crypto space. And then a full retracement or correction. A down to 83 cents, a B up to $2, and the C ending at about 30 cents. Okay, so this thing rallied from 6 cents up to just under $3.50, all the way back down to 32 cents. This is why you have to have guts and you have to be able to stomach volatility or average out into times of high greed. Otherwise, you will have to let your cryptocurrency make some seriously drastic swings on the upside and the downside and not care if your portfolio is doing the same thing. It's just part of the name of the game. You have to be gutsy, you have to be able to hodl, and it's just because of this volatility. These are very volatile, which is why they're so profitable to trade, but you do have to use your risk management, which means not going all in on positions, keeping at least 30% Tether, 30% Bitcoin, and just being very, cautious through these moves so that you don't get frustrated if there ends up being a correction or an ABC and it goes from $3 to 30 cents. You have to be able to be okay with that if you want to trade crypto. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, as we can see, we have a very nice volume increase at the bottom of this market cycle where we're rounding out, we're making a rounded bottom formation as well. So we can take our tool over here on the left-hand side next to the box tool, use the curve tool and just curve out this rounded bottom that we're seeing. Oops. Okay. Like that. Very, very nice rounded bottom formation pulling up right here. Classic rounded bottom formation, I would say. And then let's take this and let's do our Fibonacci from the low to the high, see what this retraced to. I bet it's just below the 88%. That's correct. We retraced just below the 88% retracement. This is common in altcoin markets to go back down to the 76 and the 88% retracement because they are a lot more quote, quote, bubbly, or I like to say volatile and less mature is a better way to word it. Than Bitcoin. So they usually do full retracements like this. It's very common to see this. Stellar did it before it went 7,000%. Digibyte did it before it went 1,000+%. So, nothing we haven't seen a million different times in the crypto space before. And we are starting to get that reversal. This is good to see this upward movement. As you guys know, the entire market capitalization is actually seeing a strong reversal. As I was talking about in my live streams a couple weeks ago, if you follow me, then you probably know what the heck is going on. If you don't follow me, click that subscribe button, hit that like button if you enjoy this video, and it'll just benefit you if you follow my content, and I can guarantee that. So right here, we had some low volatility. About 10 billion in volume, just averaging low volatility. Then we get this volume spike up to 25 billion in volume right here. And this signifies a nice reversal in the market cap, as I was expecting. So the rest of the market is bullish. So this is very likely to be heading up with the rest of the market cap. Now let's talk about market cycles because this is actually very likely to repeat a similar cycle that we see currently. And I will use BitShares as an example of this because this is one that I recommended people to buy in the last cycle. I told people to start buying the dip right here when it was getting delisted from Bittrex and everybody thought that BitShares was dead. I was telling people to buy the dip right here because I knew that this was a rounded bottom formation, that we were going to do another market cycle on the upside. So let's kind of look at how this played out. Here's our first market cycle. Oops, that was a complete fail. And there we go. Okay, first, and then we click right here and we do our second market cycle. Here's our first and our second market cycle for BitShares. Okay, our first one is very classic market cycle. You have a takeoff period, you have your first sell-off, you have your parabolic move on the upside, media attention, new paradigm, complacency, bull trap, capitulation, and then despair, right? The lowest point. You always want to buy despair. If you can buy despair, that's your highest potential of reward and highest probability of bounce. And then we have the same exact thing happen again, you guys. Takeoff period, media attention, new paradigm, bull trap, capitulation, despair, and the cycle is repeating. We're starting to get that again. So that means that Substratum could have a very similar chart to the way that BitShares looks, okay? We have this first market cycle. We're expecting another market cycle. So maybe this, rounds out right here, takes a little bit of time to pump up, and then it does something like this, where you have accumulation up, ramps up, then media attention, everybody goes crazy, 3, 4, and a 5, up to a new all-time high. I'm expecting the majority of the market cycles in the market cap to be doing these all-time high moves like this. Now that we are getting strong confirmations of these reversals, I'm going to delete this Fibonacci retracement here and use the extension tool to get an accurate target on this 5-wave. Okay, we'll go with 236 to be safe, back down to the 3 and up to the 1.6. Okay. Now I'm going to delete that in the background because that's a top secret tool. You can learn how to use it with the TradingView course if you go check out my website, highaltitudecrypto.io, if you want to learn how to use that tool, the extension tool for targets. So that's our Elliott wave count. That's what we're expecting in this next wave up. Again, it should repeat a market cycle that's similar to the one on the left here. And once we are overvalued and breaking all-time highs again, this will need to ABC correct again, so be prepared to take some profits on the short term. But this is, this is my technical analysis for Substratum. So let's just write Substratum. I think I spelled that right. Yep. Substratum, and then we'll do 4/17 of 18. I'm going to copy this right here. Okay, and then we're going to publish this idea privately, and I put these in the description from start to finish TA. Okay, and then we just say long category wave analysis, since I use Elliott waves for this, sub, and then waves as some tags, and then we just publish this idea. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you learned something. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and let me know in the box below. If you want to vote on what coin I do technical analysis on next week, go over and follow me on Twitter at highaltitudeinv. And then I post once a week on there asking what coins people want for this. So go ahead and follow me there and you can request coins. As always, stay profitable.